What'd you do?
I had surgery.
Oh, wow.
Thanks, Jake.
You're welcome, Jess.
I'm excited I get to go get the stupid big cast thing off tomorrow. So.
Okay. We're good? Mm-hmm. Okay. Good evening, everybody. We are going to call the meeting to order today, November 24th at 5:15 p.m. We have Karen on the phone, so we do have a quorum. Val. Dang it! I know better. I'm sorry. We have Val on the phone. Karen is in person with us tonight. Do we have an approval of the minutes from September 11th? I read them. They look good to me. So I'm happy to move to approve the minutes. Any second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Thank you, Val. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Minutes approved. Public comment or guests. I'll go with guests that we have in the room. Are Allison and Jesse are here with us today. Thanks for coming. We always love guests if anyone is ever interested in showing up. And any public comment, Jess? Nope. Okay. Any correspondence?
I've been getting emails regarding like entertainment stuff, but.
Perfect. We're going to discuss that. So we'll go into reports and discussions. Open class with myself. I just wanted to bring up the art wall discussion again. I think it's something that if we're interested in, I need to reach out to teachers at the school to gauge interest if they would like to start saving their school art and their classroom art and or visiting with Allison or Jess or Karen with the, what are they called? Do you guys, I guess, do you put up your Cloverbud art?
We put up what they bring. It's
Yeah,
usually
that's
a
what I thought.
project, but
Okay.
we display it.
Okay, because I was wondering if that is something that if they wanted to have, like if they had like a craft night or something that they don't enter into the fair maybe, or they wanted to bring it, or I could even talk to like the daycare over here if they have art projects. Again, the whole point of this art wall discussion or the art wall is to just get people interested in the general public, interested in the fair, and finding kids are kind of like my way of getting to adults and getting them to the fair to come see their stuff. It's not, they don't have to register. There's no ribbons. It doesn't cost anything. It's just we will pick it up from the school and or hang it. Ideally, this is what I wanted to get approval from in the commercial building potentially. We did, we talked about this I think last time, putting up dividers down the center. Mm-hmm. Those ones that we got from the museum, something similar to that. And then just pinning or stapling, whatever we got to do to get the art on those. And then ideally that would also divide up the commercial building so people don't just walk down it once and then walk out. Maybe they would actually have to walk down both sides. Hey Sheila. How are you? Come join us. So that's kind of, I guess I wanted to see if everyone thinks that's an okay way to get people engaged, and if so, if there's approval for our open class group too. It's a feeder program essentially for open classes, kind of how we're thinking about it. Sheila, we're just talking about the art wall that I mentioned last time.
Yeah.
I would like to get kind of like approval that we could use the space and potentially do something like that, so I can start talking to the teachers and the daycares and or if Cloverbuds have opening, thing that they don't normally enter or whatever. It's open to anyone.
And I feel like, I don't know if this is deja vu or what, because my brain is so overloaded, but did we talk about the display boards that the school has at one of our meetings here?
I think you may have brought it up, but I don't remember.
Okay. Thank you.
I remember
Yes,
that.
I do remember it as well.
Yeah, because the Conservation District has, I think, 3 of them, but the school has the rest, and they usually store them like up above the stage of the new gym. And they're beautiful. They're just plain black, but you can stand them up accordion freestyle.
Okay.
And you basically use Velcro. you put, you buy those Velcro dots, so then you would put a Velcro on the back of the artwork, and actually then it can stick right on there, so you don't need both sides of the Velcro. You just need
Perfect.
the one that'll stick to those boards.
Yeah.
So they make beautiful displays. Tanya Wise, when she was running the after-school program, was able to buy all these, and the school has them, and they would work really well out at the fair, to whether it's for this artwork or something else, because I don't think they're being used a whole lot at the school, unless, do the seniors still put their display
They set 'em
photos?
up
They're-
for graduation,
yeah.
but-
yeah. So they don't really use them a whole lot, though. And that might just expand your display ability during fair.
Yeah.
So
Do you know who I would get in touch with, Denise, on that?
I would just start with like the high school principal, probably.
Okay.
The only thing would be is when you collect your artwork, like you don't want it to be heavy. Like it can't be
It would need to be like pieces of paper of some kind.
right or
Got it.
Yeah.
It can have,
Mat
when we
Yeah.
displayed all of our stuff during one of our ag dinners, like we had mats that were either black or white.
Oh yeah, you told that.
Yeah,
Pop.
and
They
then
made
you
it pop. Right. Yeah.
And
I
then
do
you
remember
put
this.
the drawing or artwork behind that, and then you can put all that up. In fact, that might even be better because the mats would keep the Velcro at all times. Then
yeah.
you just tack the photo on with a little bit of masking tape so that you don't harm it. You can take it off and give it back to the child.
Yeah.
And the mats could be kept. And they probably still have the mats somewhere, the matting. They're either black or white because
Okay.
we used a lot of theirs. I also bought quite a bit. And if you want, I can look at the conservation district to see if there's any of that. But they were pretty limited. They were either 8x10 or 5x7.
Okay. This is really helpful. Thank you. So I guess is everyone in favor of doing that? That's okay. If we do
Yeah, I
that?
think it's great.
Cool. Okay, I will move forward with that then. I don't think I really have anything else for the open class. It's just kind of our quiet time. We'll get into it, I'm sure, a bit more in the new year, come spring. So, vendors, Sheila?
I have nothing.
It's okay. That is okay.
It's not that time of year, so.
Yeah, I'm understanding. Any questions? I just don't want to skip any. Okay. Radio, Denise?
I don't have a lot. We didn't hold our last regular meeting, but in October we did vote in new officers and directors, and I think pretty much everything's the same, if I recall correctly. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure we're the same on that. And we're just kind of working hard on acquiring some new members and encouraging and welcoming other people to be a part of it. But we kind of bagged our last meeting, and we'll probably just wait and regroup in January. We already have a really long to-do list of things and goals and aspirations and all that kind of stuff, but yeah. And there was a lot of good stuff at the convention in reference to rodeo as well. So I'll maybe touch on a little bit on that. We'll just see how we're doing on time. So
Perfect. That sounds great. Any questions for Denise? Okay, moving on to Karen with 4-H.
We had a new member night last week. We had a very nice turnout. Workshops are in full force. Jess said her last count was 133 members. And we are working on a bleacher project. We're going to get this off the ground. Allison's going to help me write a grant. We do have one club that has donated or some funds, but the goal is to hopefully replace the white bleachers that are in the 4-H building with aluminum fold-up ones with wheels. They're the same size, but it's a goal.
could they still be sat on if necessary? That's cool.
Yeah.
It's funny because we talked about this at convention.
So it's going to take all forces from all sides to
Cool.
make it happen. The goal is maybe we can get some. It might be several years before we can do them all, but because they're about 1,500 is about what we figured. That was when we checked, but that was
A while ago.
that was almost a year ago. So
Who's the grant from?
we're going to write one for the Broadwater Community Foundation.
Awesome.
And then I think the club, I can't remember if it was 2,000 or 3,000 that they voted on. So that's a starting point too. So
I think that's great.
Yep. I think so too.
but if you have other ideas of people to contact, or yeah, like I said, it's going to take everybody. We'll probably go visit with Rotary. We will.
Well, I know that open class has also been not loving them, so I don't know what it might be a proposition. Maybe I should get my poop in a group and talk to them. And I don't know if there's funds that we have as the fair board, but
Well, I didn't get it on the agenda this time.
okay,
So
maybe we
figured
can.
I'd mention it here, and then maybe we can put it on the agenda for
Yeah.
next time. But yeah, I was a little late.
No, that's okay. I think that would be a good maybe topic.
It's something that we could probably look at, like budgeting in next year's budget, you know? Like, because at this point, I guess we would have to do like a budget amendment in order to like, because we don't have like an extra $1,500 in any of our line items, but, and then we kind of talked about maybe looking at it as like, did you say maybe it could be classified as like capital improvements or?
Just to follow the rules.
Thank you.
So capital improvements are anything over 5,000. So if you look at them individually, they wouldn't classify, but if you look at it cumulatively, it could. So it'd be something that we just would have to kind of sit down, take a look at and discuss.
Yeah.
But
And it'll be interesting to see, like, once we get a couple in there and like use them for a little bit and see how they fold up and how they fold down and how we can back them into each other, as far as display purposes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cool.
Do you know how they could be stored? Like, do you store them in a rack, or do they lean
so
against?
they just like they fold up and pretty much like slide around on their back end.
Okay, so they're freestanding.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
still, let's say you needed them all folded up and moved out of the way. Where would you put them?
So right now, and if anybody wants to get rid of all the risers out of there, like renters, like for weddings and stuff, it's their responsibility. They have to drag them out and put them in the commercial building,
Okay.
and then drag them back in. And so these ones at least will roll, so that would be easier. And the same thing, they would have to roll them across the way and put them in the commercial building for the weekend if they don't want them in there. I think they will take up a lot less room. We'll be able to like stack them.
These are the style that fold all the way up, right?
Yeah, so like
in high school.
You know, they sit down. They're 3, right? They're 3
Tiers.
benches, yeah, and then they pretty much will pop up on their back end and then roll.
Okay.
And are they solid metal, or are they like grated?
They're solid.
Solid. Yeah, they talked about this at convention, that people are moving away from pegboards and risers.
They're heavy.
Yeah.
We can hardly move them. Like at fair, we all get to go visit the chiropractor. when
Yeah.
we're done. I mean, they're heavy,
Yeah,
and
they
so
are.
we need something that's
I was telling Jesse, you know, I was like, when I have to go and like clean the building, because I have to push them all into the middle, like sweep,
Yeah.
and then push them all back, and it's hard to move them by yourself.
Yeah.
Like when you're the only person
Yeah.
out there, you know. If you have 2 adults, it's decent, but 1 adult, it's kind of borderline.
Yeah. Well, considering they're cumbersome, they've sure held up for many, many years.
And there
But-
are a few that have some pretty good like cracks
Right.
on the top, and I've just put like a piece of like packaging tape over it, and I say, do not sit on this.
Yeah.
And or the paint job really is rough as well. What are they going to? Did they say at the convention?
Not really. The one lady that spoke a lot about this, they're having a real, in their case, they're having a real battle because one of their lead people with the fair doesn't like the risers, doesn't like the other things that they just built, but she won't give a suggestion of what she does like, and she's in charge of like the sewing class or the cooking class. Maybe it's the cooking class. So they're having a nightmare of an issue, but
Don't have any good solutions.
yeah, no good solutions for them. And I said, well, we have the risers too, and even though they're really cumbersome, you know, we have wonderful.
They serve the purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I believe we have 20 risers out there, and I don't know if
I
we
was gonna ask
necessarily
that,
need to be replaced with 20 bleachers. You know, I don't think there's a lot of events that people are filled up with chairs and risers out there. So,
I'll say we use them all.
But you do
At
use
the
them all at
but
fair.
we can use tables. Like, we
Yeah,
have lots
I'm
of
not saying we
tables.
have to, but I'm just
we
saying
have
yes,
lots of
we
tables in the back room that
could be used in some
could
shape, form, or
could-
fashion.
Yeah. But-
And I love to get creative, so I'm happy to- I feel like we already have gotten very creative. So, oh yes, go ahead.
It's
Alex.
actually related to the tables. We ran out of tables for achievement night, and there's a bunch of broken ones in there. Is there any plans to replace those?
Yeah, we have to just get them out. I've been trying, it's hard because I put them to the side and then I go back out there and they're like
Mixed
stacked
up.
again with everything else. And so then I'm like, I wait and like somebody, like I'll go in there and whoever used it, they'll find them and they'll put them to the side. And I'm like, awesome, they're to the side. And then but I have to like get our truck or maintenance guys' trucks or something to haul them in and just trash them one of these times. So.
And then replace them, or?
Yeah, I think we should probably replace what we have in there, because there are times when I've seen almost every single table drug out of there and used for like,
For achievement night, we could have used more.
yeah.
Should that be something on the agenda that we vote on spending money on, replacing them?
I don't know. Is that just like a normal repair and maintenance expense that's already like budgeted?
I think it's capital improvements.
There'll be a lot of tables.
Always worth the table.
Well, could we join it in with the? I don't know how this works, but could you join it in with the
Risers.
risers? Potentially.
Possibly. I don't know. We'd have to look at it. But I would think, depending on how many you need, you could just put it into like the repair and maintenance. I don't think you'd have to.
Yeah, I think.
What?
I can remember. I think there's like 3 of the 6-foot ones that I can remember that were broken in some sort of way. Like they all break in different ways.
Sure.
I don't understand it, but my family will be out there on Thursday, so I can sort through them, and maybe I'll even throw them in somebody's truck and tell them to take them to the dump.
Yeah.
They'll let you take them back for Indian Creek with those.
Probably will.
Then nobody's gonna want to take them.
Don't quote me on that.
Jesse, being her county commissioner.
Does that become kind of a safety issue, though, if you've got tables that are broken? I mean, is that something that we should do and have to do, or?
I'm not following what you're asking. Sorry.
I mean, I think we need to get rid of them.
Is it a safety issue to have a
Well,
broken
they're
table?
very
and-
clearly broken. Like,
Okay.
If you tried to set them up, it would just fall on the ground. So it's not like you would have like your beautiful cake table for your wedding
Right.
all set up and then
So
all
we
of a
should
sudden
just
it's gonna
get rid of
crash
them
out
and
on
replace
each
them.
side. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that could just be put onto our next meeting. We can talk about like interior for each building structure, interior, what are they called? Help me out. Interior, infrastructure within the 4-H building. That's what I'm going with for now, okay?
Okay, good.
Specifically risers, tables. And I know I still have that issue with the chair thing I need to talk to Watson about that I put here.
No,
Did they fix it?
them. Yeah.
I'd love
yeah.
to hear that. Okay, never mind then.
Maintenance guys went out and got the carts and brought them in and put new wheels on them.
Oh, hallelujah. Okay, good. I know
You
that was
still-
a big issue.
The jump over the
Still isn't going to be
It's
helpful.
still-
The door jam?
yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to mention the door jam. And then the last I was there, weren't some of the racks kind of, they were readjusted or some things were fixed and.
The wheels are fixed, but there are some of like the
The
sticks
arms,
that you put
the arms that stick
yeah.
out. Yeah.
Some of them they have broken parts.
Right.
On them. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure those things are pretty expensive.
I think it would be good just to. Oh, go ahead.
I think Watson's class might build you some if you talk to him.
I need to just
Yes.
ask them.
And
Very-
wouldn't there be
Very
room?
creative.
Just thinking about it, instead of a door jam, why couldn't you put like a barn door, a sliding barn door without a jam so that it's level into level? Like make a bigger opening?
Yeah.
Because there is a long enough wall there. Because that has always been a pain. Because if you have good help, which we all hope for, but they ram, because you have to ram that rack in and out of there. I mean, it's hard.
I can't do it by myself.
Right.
I'm like,
Yes, and it's tight quarters.
I guess I don't know what's, because that's an addition to the first thing.
Right.
So I don't know if something,
The concrete.
they have it there because the two pieces of concrete are coming, you know.
Well, you could
Since
you
it
could
was-
still adjust that. You can make it more flush.
I think just
Yeah.
Even if
a
they just
general
like cut off
upgrade
that
Yeah.
bottom part, right?
would be
Like
the
if
thing
there's
we'd
a
need to
gap
go
under the
for and
door,
do
that's okay.
all of that. So
Yeah.
the tables, the
Mine's
bleachers,
right
everything
there.
could
The rack.
just be,
Actually, and
All
I know
part of
that was
that.
one thing that we also did talk about was the doors, and I know you had talked to the maintenance guys, but you could see air through the doors.
Mhm.
So we kind of are creating a list of
Yeah.
indoor 4-H
Improvements to
improvements.
4-H building.
indoor improvements
Yeah.
in the 4-H building.
If you
yeah.
do talk to him about chair racks,
I
do you know
will.
it'd be kind of nice, I think, to make like a little bit of a smaller one. Like maybe one that doesn't hold like 3 across and 3 across, like maybe 2 and 2, so they'd just be easier to handle.
Yeah. And or bigger tires. Would that potentially be helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll talk to him. I'll put it on my list to talk to him. Been saying that for a while. Okay. Any other questions for Karen? I think those are all good items that we need to talk about. Okay. Val, with public relations.
I don't have anything to report.
Okay. Perfect. Any questions for Val? Okay. Moving on to Fair Board business, the budget update.
Okay, so on the back of your pink paper is our budget. It really has not been, I think, I went through and I only had to change like 4 things since our last meeting. It's kind of a slow time right now. Although I know, Val, you have some receipts to get me so I can reimburse you, right, for a hotel?
I'm just going to donate that.
No, because we have the money for it, so,
I'll get it to you, Jess.
okay. So like none of the RMAF expenses are in here because they haven't gone through the Black Mountain report yet.
I have a question just in regards to like we're talking about money and all these improvements or whatever. The funds that we get from sponsorships, I apologize, I don't remember the amount. Is that pretty much used within the fair? Used up? Doesn't really.
So
Just
at the
curious.
beginning of the year, I have to, when we're making our budget, we do a revenue budget and an expenditure budget. And so I use last year's numbers usually and I kind of estimate what our sponsorships are going to be. So it pretty much goes into like the whole budget. So, you know, if it's,
So it's not an extra bonus per se, it's more.
yeah, so
Okay.
that's why we have, you know, $1,000 for bounce houses and
Okay.
30, you know, so.
So it's already.
Because when I do my budget, not a lot changes on our budget. It's pretty much the same except for everything directly involving Fair Week. So like when I have extra money, that's usually if my revenue is, I have more revenue than I have expenses so far, I usually put it into that contract services line.
Got it.
Because that's where we usually need it.
Got it. And we don't
Or-
have any, just curious, we don't have any extra. Sorry, where's that one at again?
So right now, or if you look at that 398,
Oh, yeah, there
We
you go. Thank
spent-
you. Yes. Okay.
all but $2.
Got it. Okay. But that's okay. That's why I was wondering how that works.
But that's all like very front heavy.
Heavy,
item.
right.
So.
So I have a question, and I don't know how this works. I know I'm being recorded. Is it ever possible to do your budget without including those sponsorships, and then the sponsorships would be the extra to go to improvements? Could we try to really limit ourselves to operating without what we get for our fair sponsorships, so then we can take the fair sponsorships and then start? Are you following me? Am I
Well, so
being
right
clear?
now,
Okay.
like our budget at the end of the year, our budget is we're never like over budget, or at least we haven't been in the last 5 years.
Right.
We always have some like cash left, I guess, at the end. And what they've done in the past is they take a percentage of that and automatically move it into your CIP, which your
Oh, with the
CIP
capital
is like your
improvement.
savings kind of.
Okay.
Where they're going to try to get away from that. They're trying to make us have a very, very strict, like if we have a line item that we're always under, then we need to start actually just estimating that at the correct amount instead of overestimating to have extra money.
Okay.
And then just having it kind of like a general fund at the beginning.
So they don't
ba-
want. Oh, sorry,
But
go ahead.
basically is what I think you're saying, so correct me if I'm wrong. Instead of, so I assume at the start of the year, is it the start of the fiscal year or start of the calendar year? So that's July.
Mhm.
Okay, so in July, you give them your your proposed budget for that new fiscal year.
Mhm. Well, we do it like, we start in like May.
It starts in July, so we get it
Yeah.
in May.
But you
So
get
it's
it
all,
in
like,
May. So you
approved and stuff,
present it
like,
in
once-
May,
Mhm.
but it starts in July. So instead of saying, you know, we're hoping to get $5,000 in sponsorship, that's just a separate thing. That your budget, this is all of our expenses that we have all the time. And so we need to get county funds to get as close to that as possible. Then if we have sponsorship on top of it, great, we can improve our fare.
Well, and that's why, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, Jessica, but we've kind of been allowed to do the whole taking all of our extra money at the end of the year and keeping it into our savings, because ever since I started, that was kind of the idea. Like, we did a fundraiser once, and we always do sponsorships and all this extra legwork. And so I was like, well, if that's going to not go into our pot at the end of the year, then we're not going to want to do that anymore. You know, if that money has to go and be like shared into a general pot or something. So it stays with us. And then whatever the percentages that they don't want to move to savings, it's kind of kept as like a cash account, right?
Yes, kind of.
But I'm not saying that you're not going to spend it. I'm saying that, okay, so here's the reality of the in and out money. And if the fair board goes or whoever goes and gets sponsors, we're going to use that for the fair, but we're going to make our fair bigger and better through those sponsorships. Because if the county has to kind of stay at this level and it's consistent that this is what we're going to get from county funds, anything that we do above and beyond is hopefully going to help us expand our fare. That's how I look at it, but maybe that's not right.
So it works a little bit different just in the fact of we split the budgets up into expense side and revenue side. So the revenue side is going to show up no matter what. And we're not going to say like advertising, if you get $3,000 from advertising, we don't take that and spend it on the expense side. It just shows up on the revenue side. So really, as long as you come to us in May of saying, here's what we expect to bring in revenue, so I wouldn't change it in that aspect, because you know what you should expect just from previous years. You're going to have X amount in revenue, but if you need a project on the expense side, you just add it to it at that time. And if the budgets don't balance, that's when we'll just make the decision to try to funnel money from the general fund if it's available, or from PILT, or from XYZ, whatever we can, to try to figure out how to fund the project if it's available.
So the budget is revenue-based? Is that what I'm following, or am I not following that right?
Not
Okay.
really, because it's hard when you have taxes with it. Because some of your budget is brought
Property
over from
tax.
property taxes. So it's not completely revenue-based. Does that make sense?
And so does the fair bring in a lot of revenue into your county budget?
I don't have that on yet, I'm not sure.
From our
No.
tax, like the tax percentage, or?
No, just like on the revenue side of the
Oh, so like,
spreadsheets.
so my revenue, here I have it. So like my revenue items are, rental, you know, which is kind of a
Yeah, that's
guesstimate
fair.
too.
Right.
Rental of the building, vendor revenue, which is also a kind of a guesstimate. And sometimes that's even split up because, you know, we try to get all of our vendors in and paid for. I think July 10th is technically their deadline, which most of them, you know, some come in April and May. So then those are deposited into the old fiscal years. And then some of them I have deposits into the new fiscal year for vendor revenue. So vendor revenue is always like split between the years, even though it was for the 2025 fair. Some of it was deposited into my 2026 budget, some of it was deposited there. And then I have building rent revenue, advertising revenue.
Pause. Advertising, is
That's the sponsors.
The sponsors.
Mhm. And then we
Okay.
have like a miscellaneous one.
So pretty much
And then we have a
all
donation.
revenue is coming from basically the fair, almost, and not anything else other than the
Vendors,
rentals.
rent, and sponsors is really the only
Okay.
thing that we
And
And
we're
bring
basing
in money
our,
for-
we're basing our budget off of that revenue
Yeah.
and saying, we need that, plus
Plus,
Mhm.
how much in
we need
taxes.
this for, okay.
Yeah, so we get like 1.5 mils as our budget from the county. And then, so that's on here, you know, they say, okay, this is your, you know, $19,000 that you're getting from the county for your budget. And then I add in our rent revenue and our sponsorship revenue and our vendors.
That's,
Like,
okay,
and
yeah,
that's
that's
estimate.
pretty much everything we put
So
in
then what
is
so then
really
so
based
now
on
I have
fair.
$32,000 to work with
Okay.
instead of just, you know, 19 or 20 or whatever it ends up being as the money I get from the county.
So I'm just gonna
Mm-hmm.
swing for the fences here. How would we, if we wanted to do more with the fair, how would we ask for more money that's not based on our revenue?
Right, so it would, at that point, come up with a plan, whatever it is, bring it to the commission, and we'd have to vote on it to either say, yes, we can afford to do that next year, we'll see how it goes, or no, we can't do it next year, we'll have to try to budget for it for the next, kind of, we'll have to come up with a plan.
Okay.
But anything over and above kind of what's the norm, I think, right now, would have to just go before the commission to try to see how we come up with the funding for it, because it would basically be coming from the general fund.
So the mission, this board would have to come and
Yeah.
say, hey,
Yeah,
we
here's our
wanna,
plan.
you know, we wanna have, I don't know,
Yeah.
a magician
Yeah,
come
exactly.
in and
Yeah.
it's
We want to
gonna cost us
big
40 grand.
entertainment, big,
Okay.
do these, all
Okay.
these things, have a plan, and then bring it to us.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you get 1.5 mils every year, and obvious,
It's something like that,
But-
which, yeah.
but it adjusts a little bit. Is it considered a floating mill?
No, I
No.
don't think yours is.
It's a straight.
It's straight. And all mills going forward are going to be dollar amounts anyway, so it should. change.
Hallelujah.
Okay, so like roughly, how much is that a year then
I think it's like
for your taxes?
So my total budget that I have
Just the
is
taxes.
35, and
Well, the mills
Let's
is
see, okay,
based
so-
on the budget.
Yeah.
Right.
real
So-
property, we
So you have
collect
to back that,
24,000.
you have to back the mills
Okay.
out of the budget.
24,000.
24,000 is our
taxes.
budgeted real property tax amount for the year.
Right. And so then whatever mills that turns out to be
Mhm.
every year.
What do we have in our CIP?
Oh, I don't have that written,
That's
or I
okay.
don't have that printed out.
Okay, so because the conservation district, we do this a little different, I guess, because we have to create a budget every year, and we are always needing more than we will ever get. So we get a grant from DNRC to offset to help run the office. So we always submit to the county our proposed budget, but we always ask for the total maximum mills we can get. And it's easy to justify because we're always short money. So it seems to me that you're always short money, the fair's always short money. Why can't you propose this budget and say we respectfully ask for the maximum mills we can get? Why can't, I don't quite understand how come it's different.
I don't know. Maybe Jesse, you would know. But I'm just speaking realistically because I work in politics and I don't want to put that on the ballot. I don't want to be.
You don't have to put that on the ballot. It doesn't have to be
I don't know if
on.
it's because like our entertainment can change, you know. Like, yeah, it'd be great to have $10,000 to spend every year on
But
entertainment,
see, that's what I'm saying. Why don't you, let's say you would love, let's say, for example, you had the concert a few years ago and it was like $10,000 or whatever. Just say we need $10,000 for entertainment. But if for some reason you don't get that, okay, then we're going to select the guy for $2,500 this year. But we're going to always ask for the max in entertainment or the line items. And then if there's a shortfall, you adjust after that. That's what we did. We like
I
every
think you're
year.
correct. I think you can ask
Yeah.
for.
Because
you-
every
you can ask
year,
for pie in the sky.
every year we always asked for a line item that we wanted to get a weed sprayer for a four-wheeler that we could rent out. Well, we would never get the money, but we still put it on our budget every time. Because that shows you're being super proactive in growth but you just might not get to do it, but you still put it in there.
I think the county budgeting process has changed a lot in the last like 2 to 3 years, where it used to be more of like a proposal of like what I want to do, and now it's more of a constant ongoing conversation with Village of Rocky. And I think those are conversations that can be had, but that process of requesting funds is quite a bit different than it was like 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm not saying that that's not feasible, but I think having those conversations early on are important.
And Bill's
to know
very
whether
reasonable.
or not that's realistic
So-
or not.
So I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing to
Yeah.
ask for.
Yeah.
And then just, you get turned down, but you say, okay,
Yeah.
I'll be back next year.
Yeah.
Because I can confidently say that people are not happy with our fair. I'm sorry, but
I think it's no diss on anybody.
I'm
Our
not anybody.
fair is
Yes.
being shortchanged by whatever reason, and because we need money to make it.
what
It's
it
going to take money to do it.
used to be what people remember it being great as. Yes, I would
Yeah.
agree.
And so I think it's just a truly honest conversation with everybody. What can we do? There was one guy, in fact, I kept his business card at a fair in Idaho. Lada or Lada County. I don't know how you say it. Latah County in Idaho, Moscow. He said, my fair doesn't make money. He doesn't go at his fair to make money. He goes at his fair to get people to come to the fair. And it turns out to be huge. But for example, he'll get sponsors, and then he hands out Monopoly money, which I know you guys have done before. Yeah. But I mean, they use that a lot. So they have sponsors set aside that, like, for example, they get $5,000, and so they give Monopoly money to volunteers and to 4-H kids that are working really hard and helping, and whatever it is, and entertainment. Mm-hmm. And that money just goes into making this big event. Yeah. I don't know, that was kind of a different way to look at it, and nobody else was like him. The other fairs are trying to make money, but the amount of, and I think what gets lost is the amount of revenue that a fair brings into the county.
Not the county, but the businesses
community
around the county.
Yeah.
Community.
It's
Not
a
us.
community revenue.
Yep.
It's not because the fair makes money.
Right.
It's because the fair happens that our county makes money.
Right.
Our community makes money, and that gets lost in it. That's the value of the fair.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's how I think that's how we've always felt, like, even with our concerts and stuff, $5 tickets for a one show. It's not because we want to make our money back, it's because we just want people to come.
Yeah.
So I propose, I guess, that we each take, as a role, as a board member, we each take, a peek at the budget and really maybe think about, because this is essentially what it looks like, right? Our budget's pretty much spent. It's kind of typical. To assist Jess, because I'll be very honest, since I've been on it, I just feel like Jess knows what she's doing, and so I just Jess, help us and make it happen. But I think if we could help Jess do her job better in the sense of what do we want? Do we want entertainment more? Do we think that, whatever we're going over on, if we could help bring our thoughts, and maybe it's just 3 or 4 bullets, and we could bring those to another meeting, we could put the budget proposals or budget ideas, and we can just keep a running list and bring it to you, and then when May comes around, or April, we can really help you go. And frankly, it would be a learning opportunity for me to, if I could, just watch how it all comes together, because I'm not the whiz when it comes to that. To show that we aren't just asking for money, but we're really interested in bettering the fair, being responsible with the funds, and we have improvements that we need.
Yeah.
Like the chairs, like the risers, like all of these things. So,
Can we get something maybe from the county commissioners that would kind of sort of outline how we would do that budget proposal?
Well, I was just going to say, I pulled up the budget sheet from Bill, and over the last, going back to 2020, your guys' budget has fluctuated from the actual budget, not the actual, but the budgeted. There's a 31,000, a 35,000, a 58,000, 44,000, back to 35 for this year. So I mean, what you've requested over the last 5 years has
I think the 58 was the year of the big concert.
yeah, that sounds
probably.
right.
But then you had, like I said, another one that was almost 45. And for the most part, you're within a few $1,000s.
The 45 one was the Graymont grant, because they gave us we had $14,000 to spend.
These are just expenses, though. This is your expense budget.
So the grant should not be part of the budget.
No, because I had to put it in as revenue in order to spend it.
So it's an
for 2
in and
years
out.
in a row, there was
It's an in and
14,000
out.
for
Okay.
Graymont
Oh, gotcha,
and 14,000
gotcha.
for
Okay,
Graymont
got
for 2
it.
years in a row. So that's why
Okay.
they fluctuated those 2 years, is when we were doing the Graymont grant
Okay.
and the big.
So we should
concert.
have a little better understanding of how that budget process works.
Yeah.
Because to me, a budget is, here's your $20,000. Oh, we got this grant for another 20. We don't have to count that.
Yeah, that's
right?
how
That's
I'm
kind of the way
thinking
I'm
too,
thinking
Sheila,
about
so-
it.
We
So-
have to,
I need to
we have
learn
to
better.
account for it somehow. So if
Okay.
it shows up in one side, we have to show it. 'Cause
But it's
you're-
just
coming
an in and
as a
out,
rev-
so
yeah,
it's
Yeah.
basically a zero.
Right.
exactly. It comes in as a revenue,
Yeah.
but you're spending it, so it's
Yeah.
going in and out.
Understood.
Yeah.
So if you could give us maybe a little better understanding of that, then
Yeah,
maybe
I'll have to
we
double
could
check
come
this
up with
it being the first year.
budget
I don't-
proposal.
I haven't had this yet, but that from my talks with the other commissioners on other topics, you know, as the departments, they come to us with an ask of what they want. So I mean, you as a framework would come to us with the ask of what you're looking to do, and then we have to see if we can find the funding for it.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's worth a start. So I would say that's a good action item for each of us and shouldn't be too heavy of a lift. And then we can kind of compile them together. Any other questions around budget update? Just being thoughtful of time. Okay. Fair board member renewals and resignations. It was from on our minutes from the last one. Both Sheila and Denise are up. Sheila, we know that you're leaving us and we understand why and we wish you all the best. You will be missed. Denise,
She has submitted her
Okay,
letter to
perfect.
come back, so.
okay.
That's
Sorry.
sent off to the commissioners too, but we haven't gotten any other letters of interest for Sheila's position.
Okay.
If you know of anybody, let them know.
Sheila, when you leave, you have to fill your spot.
You're not allowed out of the
It's an
building.
undocumented rule.
Usually find a replacement.
That's what I was told anyways.
It's also been my letter for 10 years.
Yeah. Any other questions around that?
Just
Okay.
so
Yeah.
you're aware, we're gonna, the goal is that we will, in December, approve the letters. And that way everybody will be
Okay.
hitting the ground running in January. If you don't have one, then we won't have it. So but that's from the commission standpoint, that was kind of our hope of why we put it at the end, or trying to get the letters by the end of November so that we can approve them in December so that there's no lapse going forward in January.
Perfect.
And we'll email you once all that's done.
Okay.
Thanks, Jesse.
Yep.
Moving on to old business. Denise and Val. Val, are you still with us? Oops, I covered you up. Sorry. For the Rocky Mountain Association of Fairs Convention. Sounds like we already heard lots of good things. So maybe I'll kick it to Denise, Val, since she's here in the room, and then you can fill in any gaps. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, because I am a
Oh shit.
ferocious note taker and I am a horrible writer. I'm sloppy and you can't read my stuff. I was working on typing up my notes. They're not done, but I will get them to you and you can do with them as you please.
Okay.
I just thought I would, the big things are, what we experienced and learned, but then obviously the biggest thing out of this would probably be some entertainment ideas. And so I just want to kind of highlight a few things. 2025, the state legislature passed a bill making rodeo the official sport of the state of Montana, which I thought was pretty cool. They talked about the Billings Rodeo, which is all new branding, all new facilities outdoors, and it made a lot of money. And their county improvement fund went into building it in like 5 months. They took on this astronomical job. And it was all part of the fair. They moved it from the Nile Rodeo, is when it used to be in the Nile in October, to in August. It tied in with their fair. So we toured the new facilities. It was really interesting. And they did comment about rodeo being such a growing sport. At Cal Poly, they sold 2,000 tickets and sold out in 30 seconds at their rodeo this year. So that was just one example that they shared. I thought that was really cool. They really encourage drone footage. They had a lot of great ideas about volunteers. They talked a lot about doing like an appreciation dinner, which we do at our rodeo, and I don't know what fair does, but they do an appreciation dinner, and instead of doing it at the end of the year, you do it at the start of the next year. And you invite that volunteer to come and bring somebody else that would maybe be interested in volunteering, which I thought was really cool. They talked about thank yous, thank you bags, or, you know, welcome bags to give to those volunteers. It was really good. Getting t-shirts and caps for them. A lot of good stuff about volunteers. 1.8% of the world feeds the rest, which I thought was a staggering fact. Food is one thing that unifies and unites us, and it's definitely a main thing at a fair. They stressed that we need legislation to protect and focus on fairs. They had some really good stats on fairs nationwide. I just didn't get them written down. Social media is king. You need to promote your fair 12 months out of the year. And so they gave a lot. I went to the workshop on that. I thought it was very good. There was a phenomenal speaker, a horribly devastating story. She was in a horrible wreck. Her and her team going from Washington State to Houston to do their fair entertainment, and they hit a patch of dry ice. She ended up being hit by a semi getting out of the truck that got stuck, being hit by a semi that was going 65 miles an hour, and it threw her up and onto some cable, and she lived. But the damage to her body and her story, she spoke. And she wrote a book. I have that information down. It was a very, very powerful presentation. What an incredible woman. Try to involve the school arts and theater. So here you are, you're ahead of the game.
Working on it.
And of course, year-round marketing. They had lots of good ideas. I won't go into that right now. I don't want to tell Jesse this. So plug your ears. They said you don't need a bigger budget. You need to tell your story well. But forget the budget part.
Your budget's small.
I was going to say, our budget is nothing. We need a bigger budget.
Obviously, like Wyoming had a very strong showing of fairs, and Wyoming has a lot of money through oil for their schools and their fairs, and it shows. But they said just focus on telling your story well, and you know, pat yourselves on the back, pat your community on the back, tell the story, highlight everybody and anybody, because this is about agriculture. Let's see, what are a couple other main things? And I know Val will chime in. Community matters. Oh, there was so many good educational stuff. They also went through, and I know Allison and Jessica know a lot more about this, but the different kind of computer programs to use to get signed up, and that was like, I really didn't want to deal with that. But I don't know. There was a lot of good stuff, and of course we got to see a lot of entertainment. Some of it was really good. I think there's some great ideas. We looked at obviously some very realistic budget-wise options, and the workshops for the most part were really good. You know, we went to as much as we could. We tried to split up most of the time so that we can kind of hit that. So maybe I'll let Val chime in now, and then we can try to highlight or spotlight kind of some of the entertainment stuff.
Okay, hit it, Val.
Okay, yeah, what Denise says is we did split up, and we both tried to go to different sections that we thought that would be more interesting and stuff for our little fair. And I don't know why, but I always seem to sit next to people who had, you know, were from big fairs, you know, like 9 days or 8 days, and they had like thousands and thousands of dollars they could spend on entertainment and all of this stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. But anyway, it was very educational and very, like Denise said, there was, we got to see lots of good entertainment, and we hit quite a few of the entertainers' rooms, and we tried to pick the ones that we were most interested in that had things that we thought would be good for our fair, and that weren't astronomical as far as expense. And so I really don't have too much to add right now, of course, because I never looked at my notes before the meeting.
I think that's great. I think we could probably dive into the email that was sent to Denise, it looks like. I don't know, but it's in front of us here for those that are in the room.
I forwarded it to you guys.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
With the agendas, because there's links on there.
Okay.
So
I'll be honest, I did not take a chance to look, but to recap for those who are not in the room and online, because we really encourage people to join online, we have Mickey O'Connor. Anyone want to give a recap on Mickey O'Connor?
So I think, hey Val, wasn't Mickey O'Connor the one guy that sang that we both really liked?
Did you hear?
Yeah, he was the guy that was a guitarist, and he walked around, and
Right.
he would just pick, people would just shout out years, and he would sing a song from those.
Yeah.
And sort of roving entertainment, was that the?
Well, yeah, he could be on a stage or he could be wandering. Honestly, he would be better, I think, on a stage. But we actually visited with him. If I'm not confusing him, we talked to him. Then we went to the Mason Entertainment or whatever it was called, right, Val? And
Yes.
he was the one that we wanted, and we were shocked at how reasonable he was. So basically, because they only have a few minutes to get up and present, right? And they have to pay $500 if they want the option to be able to present live. And if they're not picked, they don't get their money back. Or they can present $100 and to be on the screen to get presented. And again, if they're not picked, they don't get that money back. So it's quite a risk for them. Obviously, they're bigger shows. A lot of them were on. And this guy was one of them. But I loved him because if you said you want a song from 1962, he starts playing one. And every one of them rung a bell with me. And he has a very decent voice, and he plays his guitar, and he can do other sounds and stuff with it. I really enjoyed him, and I just thought our community would really like him. And he was a very friendly fellow. And this entertainment group that we went to, if you've ever, I'm sure most of you have been, this was my first time experiencing this. I wasn't a fan of going into all these hotel rooms. It kind of freaked me out. I didn't like it.
I went by myself too, yeah.
And,
I went by myself.
and of course there's a lot of drinking and all that. That wasn't a real fun part for me. But so Val and I tried to stick together on that. But when we went into this guy this John Bannock, he had the most professional room and presentation. He had two women that were his assistants, a very clean, neat, and tidy. I didn't feel like it was kind of a grungy setup, because some fair stuff can be. And I was very impressed with that.
I remember him from
Do
last
ya?
year. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yep, I was very impressed with him. So
are you guys thinking of the guy that had the little wagon with the little shack, the tiki shack?
I didn't like that.
Okay. So, because the Mickey O'Connor, I clicked on that YouTube and I thought he was more like a clown kind of guy.
He is.
Okay, he's the clown. Okay.
Juggling. And
Yeah.
And he was good. Okay, so that's the older man. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
he
then
was actually really good too.
And then the Artie Loon guy was like more of like a magician type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
The Bigfoot
So-
one. So the one you're thinking of must be a different.
He might have been a different.
Because the Bigfoot one, it was only like Instagram, so it was just like pictures, really.
Yeah, and that one was okay. We didn't see a performance. It was just this is all this.
Instagram were him just walking around as Bigfoot. So
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a performance.
No, there isn't, and you're right. And yeah, Mickey
And then
O'Connor.
the Tiki Shack guy, like he was playing a guitar,
Yeah.
but he was playing like islandy music.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Val was okay with that one, right, Val?
Yeah, there was the two other guys that were with that. I think he sent four people that were interested, that we were interested in. It was the Sasquatch guy, and then the Tiki Man, and then there was two other guys. I think one rode a unicycle, and he was a juggler, and then I think the other one was similar
Do you know
to
the
that.
name that I could maybe look up the
The other
one
guy
you're
that I was
thinking of
telling you
that-
about,
Yeah.
I'm looking for it. Yeah, there was Jeremy the juggler, but he was a little bit more money. And then juggling with Jeremiah.
But
Did-
I kind of like this, just the two guys that were the jugglers, you know, because they have a tendency. They said that they could do three 30-minute things, and they would just walk around. I think our biggest thing is, you know, everybody gets over to the livestock building, and you know, unless there's a break or whatever, they don't really linger over into the fair unless they're hungry or whatever. So I'm thinking, in case maybe that would draw more of a crowd if we had them out walking about.
Yeah. I apologize because, yeah, Mickey was, I put down that he was really goofy, but we both liked him, and he was like, it wasn't $1,000, yeah. And he really connected, and he would do 3 sets a day. Yeah, that's right. So he would wander around and just, you know, so there's like no pressure. You don't have to say, hey, we need to go to the pavilion or under the big tent at 1 o'clock. You know, he just...
I like the idea of having someone roving rather than someone we have to set up a stage for.
I love a magician.
Yeah, I
do
liked
too.
the Artie Loom guy actually
Yep.
better, I think, than the Mickey guy.
Did ya?
On the video.
I'm trying to find the old man that just played the music. I really enjoyed him. If you were going to also potentially try to do a concert, we were actually trying to figure out how you could do maybe a couple things with your budget that it sounds like maybe you could ask for just a little bit more. Right? Is that what I heard you say?
No guarantee, but we could
You could
ask.
ask for anything, right?
For this
You could
year, we
ask
have
for
to do
the
a budget
moon.
amendment.
Yeah. Well, and technically it would be for next year because we
Because it's-
didn't.
So
But
are,
it'd be
Right.
under this budget.
so it's okay. So
No,
our fair that we're
Not
having,
necessarily, yeah.
not necessarily.
It would be potentially next year's.
This would be next year's budget, right? Because we're in August.
Unless we have to do a deposit. That's what last
Yeah,
year, the
it
escape
just
room,
depends, it kind of,
50% of the escape room came out of the year before's budget because I had to deposit when I did the contract. And then the other part came out of this year's budget.
Now, if you want to have something, this is more like in the 50,000 price range, but I was really impressed. And he's good friends with DeMars, with Lois and Jeff DeMars and Anna DeMars, the Octane Addictions. He's the motocross guy.
With the big with big
Yeah.
blow up.
Blow up, and then they take their motorcycles. And and he can set up anywhere. And it was really good, and he's a salesman, I will tell you that. But to me, that's a super cool, different thing. I remember one time we had a motorcycle guy went and did the barrels during the rodeo. That's all I remember about motorcycles, but this was really cool. The other thing was hey Val, remember when they shoot them, they do the shooting each other? Not pellet guns.
With
What's
paint?
what's the air?
Airsoft guns or paint guns?
Yeah.
Oh
Paintball.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
no paint no paint. The no paint.
This guy sets up they blow up like this confined area, and you go in and you
People would
play
love
paintball, but it's not with paint.
Yeah, it's with
no
the,
paint.
They're little BB, foamy
Yeah,
BB
air-
things.
it's Airsoft.
Yeah, but they still can hurt you.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that to me seemed like something quite different.
Do you know how much that one cost?
Let's see, I didn't get
That's
to
okay.
this. I was
know.
trying to.
No, it's okay. And it's
narrow-
not easy to get a hold of them, and they change often.
Kids would love that, though.
Oh, they would love those
Yep.
two things. So just maybe make a note of the paintball that's not paintball and this Octane.
It's like
I
almost-
think.
Is it laser tag or
No.
Okay, because they do the same thing with laser tag.
No.
They set up the big things. Okay, so just to keep us on roughly on time, I would ask that could we do a deeper dive into potentially the airsoft gun, if you can find who the person is, and we could see specifically what it would cost, And then I, because I'm very selfish here, would love a magician if we could get them and what it would cost and if they're free. Because I know they're, checking dates off every
Well,
single day.
These 4 that they sent us are available the days we need them.
Perfect.
Right
And
now. As of
don't
now,
they
yes.
they also do magic in a couple of these, or one of these does magic, I thought.
Yeah,
Artie
Loon.
Loon.
I thought I like, yeah.
And I think Mickey can do some magic too, but
Yeah,
you
he-
like the loon one better. Is that what you
Yeah,
said, Jess?
I thought Mickey was a little,
Little too weird?
little hanky. I don't know.
It was
Okay.
more like magic for kindergarten.
Dorky
Yeah,
magic, yeah.
Yeah.
So you like the loon one. So is that okay that they would be random magic and floating around?
Yeah, I think it's great.
Okay.
And then we don't have to worry about the stage. And
Yeah.
then we don't have to worry about tickets and
Well,
all
that
this
was-
extra
That
stuff.
was my next thing, was like, if we do have somebody who needs like somewhere to perform, then they would pretty much, if they have it under the tent, they would have to tear down and set up every time. Because there's nobody there to watch all their stuff,
Oh.
overnight. And so,
So I think, can we try to move forward with those 2 and then we can, whenever our next meeting is, January 8th or 15th, we can hopefully sign a contract with them. I know it has to go through the county and everything, but.
You're probably, you're going to want to send the contract sooner rather than
before-
later.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to want to wait.
Till January. You're saying you don't want to wait till January?
Probably not,
mean,
because they get booked
right.
up so fast.
Yeah. And I don't think it really matters at this point. The older guy that was just the singer, I don't think that matters at this point based on what I'm hearing. So I can try to find the airsoft.
I'll be curious to know how much it costs. I
Yeah.
think that'll be the time.
And it wasn't horrible.
He's the guy from Billings.
He's the
The
yeah,
guy
that's
from
yeah, he was, and he's kind of a newer.
Yeah,
Oh, so the
They even go to
travel wouldn't be-
Culbertson.
Yeah.
I mean,
Travel wouldn't be
Yeah.
bad at all.
you could possibly do like him instead of the big bounce houses. Because I mean, the big bounce houses
Right.
last year cost us $1,500,
Huh.
yeah.
And he
and they're only
actually,
set up for like a few hours.
yeah,
They're
I can.
expensive.
Okay, so the guy out of Billings.
Yeah, he was the guy that did the sound system
Yeah,
and changed all the lights for the glow night and.
Yeah, and he sat with us at the
He sat at our
table.
table with the
Yep.
his wife and the little boy.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so do we need to
Yeah.
get together then in December, or do we do it via email? What's our action item here? Because I know time is of the essence.
I vote you do it via email if it's allowed.
Okay.
Or do you have to publicize that?
I think we just need to
I
move that we
believe
move
we
forward.
determined that we can do, email.
How
Yeah.
about, can you make a motion that the board get together via email to decide on the entertainment
between two.
yeah.
Spending up to however much money.
Or, at lea-
Do you
yeah.
want to make a motion?
Set a spending limit and
Because do we have
With an
put a
unlimited budget, I vote that, I move that
Are you saying? Yeah.
Fundraising.
Jesse's gonna fundraise on behalf of the county.
Just
We have
kidding.
another fundraiser. Good for you. Pulled pork sandwiches or something, right?
Yeah, in the middle of COVID.
Normally, our entertainment is up to 5,000, right? I feel like that's what
Well,
we've
so
been
last year
budgeted.
we budgeted like 4,500 for the escape room and the bounce houses, and then we have like miscellaneous entertainment 500, and then entertainment under the tent 300.
So I say, well, can I make a motion?
you can.
Okay. I make a motion that we move forward with entertainment via email, whether it be a magician or an airsoft obstacle course like deal, Spend-
And or.
or depending
both.
on
Right.
the dollar amount, and that we stay under our $5,000, so we can do both. If we can stay under 5,000, or if we can't stay under 5,000 with both, then we do one or the other. Sorry, you can make that, Howard. And that we will confirm via email before December 23rd. I think that's a Monday. To confirm with these people because time is of the essence. That's my motion.
I second that.
I need a second. Okay, thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, I will just mention Montana Premier Entertainment, I think, is the guy that handles the airsoft, or whatever that's called. The paintball that's not paintball.
Do you have the contact information on that, Denise?
Well, it's just this, we could probably get it very
Okay.
easily. That's all it was on here. This was all the schedule.
So just if you'll email us, if you wouldn't mind, with whatever you can find out, if you wouldn't mind helping us with that.
Get it.
Sorry, that falls to you.
Now,
Preliminary
but
contract, I
you,
think, is
don't
what
you
you're
need
gonna
another option, though, if, let's say, these, whatever you vote on, they're full?
Then we come back in January and read.
Okay.
Because I just don't think it's so hard
If there's a
with the
backup,
timing.
if there's a backup via email, can we do it that way?
Can we amend the motion that
Yes.
if those options, we
Fall
can still
through for
have it,
whatever,
yeah, they
yeah.
fell through, we can discuss some other potential options, share, can we do that?
My only worry is that the other options would not be discussed in a public forum.
Okay.
I don't know that. I'm not saying no, but that would be my only hesitancy. Because right now we're discussing, again, a magician and whatever. Allison, do you know?
I wouldn't think that who you're getting has to be discussed necessarily.
It's just that
It's
you're
not
discussing
much.
entertainment.
It's the
Okay,
money
perfect.
Yeah.
that
Then I'm cool with it if it's
has
good.
to be a
Because of the
thing.
amount and because it's already budgeted and because this is just an advisory board, I don't think that it's.
So it's something that we always do. We're not doing anything that we don't always do.
Right.
I think if you stick to trying to, like, whatever you said for your budget, like, trying to
5,000.
find entertainment with this much money, and you are emailing back and forth on who that is, I think you're fine. I don't think you have to limit it to who.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just limited to
So
the
you
money.
wanted to amend that motion?
There's the part about what the specific entertainment is.
Okay.
That if those options are not available, we have the freedom to look at rest of the potential options.
There's all sorts of fun stuff on the Montana Premier Entertainment website. There's spider jumping, there's a gyro ball, stump jumping.
Yeah, they do all sorts of stuff.
I second that amendment.
Okay.
Iceless ice skating.
I did the exact same thing. What? Okay, discussion around that. Discussion. Discussion. Okay, watch your emails, everybody. You hear that, Val?
You got it.
Okay, perfect.
Karen's the only one that hasn't said anything. So.
Karen, I can see her face. I don't know what
All I
Val's
was
face.
gonna say is, and we vote?
Yeah, I was gonna say all in favor. Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Okay, perfect. So motion passes. Moving on to new business rentals update.
So we do have a few, I think, 2 Christmas parties in December out there, and then another sheriff's office Christmas party, which isn't a paying rental, but they always do their Christmas party in January. And like an anniversary party in February. We have a wedding reception in June. We've got, so there's quite a bit of stuff, and then archery starting up, so that's gonna be like an every Thursday night 4-H workshop thing. So the building is staying decently busy.
That's good. Perfect. Any questions on that? Okay, and we have already discussed the 2026 Fair and Entertainment with the convention. That kind of goes together. Any other questions there on new business? Anything else people want to add? Okay, then we'll talk about our next meeting date, either January 8th or the 15th.
So I put those 2 options on there because January 8th is a home basketball game.
Does anyone prefer one or the other? I'm trying to pull up my calendar, sorry.
We don't have anything on the 15th, right?
Mm-mm.
Um,
And I mean, it's possible if we'd be done by like 6, we'd probably still be able to make the game. But
I am clear the 8th for sure. I prefer the 8th. I may be traveling the 15th. Just my personal opinion. Is everyone okay with the 8th? Denise, you good? Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have to make it fast.
It's
Yes.
gotta be fast.
We can do that, I think.
And maybe boys are first that night, hopefully.
You meet
Cross our
earlier?
fingers. Huh?
You meet earlier?
At 5 instead of 5:15.
Just throwing it out there.
Good.
I could do
I
it.
mean, I'm okay with that. You, it's tough for you to get here, isn't it? But
Sheila's going to be done, isn't she?
Done in January.
Oh,
Are you looking at
nice.
Sheila?
You're not coming to January's meeting.
Well, but I can.
Okay.
We'll let you just stay on.
Yeah, we're not
So-
asking to get rid of you
There's
here.
still time to put in your letter.
January 8 at 5 o'clock?
Yes.
At least that
January
gives us
5
a
p.m.
little extra time.
I'll put it on my calendar, and if you guys need a quorum, I'll show up. How's that?
Okay.
Oh, you're so.
That sounds
gosh,
great.
that's super nice.
I move to adjourn the meeting at 6:25.
I second.
Perfect. Meeting adjourned. Bye, Val.